Hi, I'm June, the Happy Thai Girl. Have you ever had Grandma's old-fashioned pound cake? Well, it is to die for, and there are only 4 ingredients. Grandma's all butter pound cake is featured today on Cooking Made Easy with June, brought to you by Macy's, the happy shopping store in Spanish Fork. Hi you guys, I'm so excited. We're making pound cake and only 4 ingredients. Now the only thing is that it is, there's a little bit of a process because you have to alternate it. I'll show you anyways. So, but this pound cake is actually not my grandmother's pound cake. My grandmother didn't make pound cake. My American grandmother made potato salad, and my Thai grandmother, she made rice and things like that. So but pound cake, I got this recipe when I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And there was an elderly, older couple that made a cookbook, and they're actually from Orem, Utah, and has all these great recipes in it. And so I got it from there, and I have not looked back since. It is the best go-to, easy for anything cake. And so I just sprayed a nonstick. Now, because I'm using a bundt pan, you don't have to use a bundt pan. You can use like loaf pans, you could use round pans, then you can use parchment paper. But if you want to make it look pretty with all the crevices and things like that, you need to see how pretty it is. You have to do this process, and you can't use a parchment paper. So I basically sprayed, or you could use a paper towel and rub your oil, vivid oil, on there. And then I'm going to flour it. Because it is a cake and it's very buttery and moist, you have to do this process. There are also cans that you can buy at Macy's. Of course, it's going to cost you more money. You notice that I'm trying to get the tube part in, where it has the oil and the flour together. But I honestly don't love that. I mean, it works because it gets a little clumpy. So I'm just going to do it on my own. So see what I did? I first did the tube, and then I'm going to hit it to shake off. We just want a very thin coat of flour. And this is the old-fashioned way, so why not? Do it the old-fashioned way, because it's old-fashioned Granny's pound cake. So I don't know if you guys can see, when I turn it, it's more natural for me. I'll do it this way. So it's more natural for me. I'm gonna put a little trash can under it because I don't want it to spill all over. More natural for me to do it this way. So I'm turning it, and see how the flour is sticking, and I'm moving up to cover all these dark parts. Talking about the dark parts, this pan is actually different, and it's the only bundt pan I have. So that's why I'm going to add a little bit more here on the cover. So that's why I have to use this pan. And when it's dark like that, you need to preheat your temperature down by 25 degrees. So it calls for 325. So I put my temperature on the oven at 300 because it's like a pudding cake, right? So, okay, so that's it. Okay, so that's the pan all ready to go. Now I'm going to do the cake. Now, because first we need to brown the sugar and the butter. So that's a very important part. So the butter needs to be at room temperature. There were situations where I had to make pound cake and it was not room temperature. And then I tried to microwave it, then I melted it, and it was okay. It still turned out well, but not that great. It had a little different crusty texture, but it's still good. But I let this sit out at room temperature. And so as soft as you can make it, but this is perfect right now. It's room temperature butter, where you can squeeze it, and it gives you can tell that it's soft, okay? So, but it's not so soft to where it's not sticking to the paper. But if your butter is sticking to the paper, you could use a spatula and not waste all that delicious, pricey butter. I miss the days when butter was like 99 cents a pound. Gosh, when was that? Or does that age me? Oh gosh, so I love my mixer in here. Okay, I knew when I'm setting up, I always forget something, but that's okay. So this Granny, well, we were talking about the price of butter. The price of anything, everything has gone up so much. All right, but that's okay because we are able to make a little bit more, aren't we? All right, so we have the mixer. Now, sometimes I have utilized my electric mixer, my electric, oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called. I have utilized my stand mixer, but I like to use the hand mixer to give me a little bit more control. And besides, the stand mixer you have to store it. I'm not a cluttery person. I like to have little clutter. So I'm going to soften the butter even more by mixing it here. Now, I don't mind. I always use salted butter, but if you want to use unsalted, it's fine. Either way, it still tastes good. I don't know why I've never been particular whether a butter is salted or not. I've always just used whatever is there. And I normally just buy salted butter. But I guess if you're watching your salt. Okay, so that's softened. Now I'm going to add 3 cups of sugar. With the sugar, I'm not going to stress too much about how I measure it. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I've not tried brown sugar. I would say you stick with the white sugar. So these ingredients, there's very little room to substitute. Besides, there's only 4 ingredients. Okay, so there's 2 ingredients, butter and sugar. And you want to cream it really well. If your butter was more soft at room temperature, then it would be more creamy looking. Now it's crumbly, but that is okay because it will be, by the time you mix all the eggs and flour, it'll cream it up. But I want to make sure that all the granules are in there so we don't have chunky little spots in the cake that are a little bit grainy. It'll still all taste good. Honestly, if you just dump it, it'll be good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to set this aside, and the next thing we're going to do, which is a little different, is that because we have to alternate between eggs mix, flour mix, eggs mix, flour mix. So we alternate the ingredients so that we have a smooth batter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack ahead. You don't have to do this. You could stop and start. I'm going to just crack 4 eggs because there's 10 eggs. I'm going to crack 4 eggs in my first when I alter my first step. I'm going to put 4 eggs in one bowl, and then I'm going to put 3 eggs in the next 2 bowls each. That would be 4 plus 3 plus 3. What is that, boys and girls? It would be 10. I guess I could make this a school project for my math kids. Oh gosh, I almost put shells in there. Oops. Okay, and 3. Okay, so what we're going to do is first put in the 4 eggs and mix that. While we're mixing, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and continue with the process. So you mix the eggs really well. And when we come back, I'm going to measure the flour. Okay, so come back. We're just getting started. All right, welcome back. So now that's creamed. I'm going to whoops. I'm going to show you. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm going to show you how to measure the flour because normally I just scoop and you know how fast I am and I don't stress too much. But because this cake is a little bit particular, I would want you to spoon it in so that you don't have to sift. It's already sifted, pre-sifted flour, but I'm going to spoon it in because if I add too much flour when I'm scooping it inadvertently, then it would be too much flour and be a little bit heavier cake, and I don't want that. So I'm going to add the 1 cup right there, moving around, and so I don't need to put a spatula to this because I'm going to get the sides in. So that's the flour. And then I add my 3 eggs already done. Or you can just stop and crack them in. Isn't it so much fun? You know, you can have your kids help you do this. This is a great, easy cake that you can help your kids help, and it won't. You cannot make a mistake. You really can't. Just have them crack the eggs in a separate bowl, and then somebody else can help mix. Somebody else can measure the flour. So I just put eggs in, so now I'm going to put the flour in. So you basically just cover it up like that. Spread it on there. And is that right? Yeah. Okay. I can remember if I had the eggs. But even if you don't remember and you put 2 flours and then before the egg, it's fine. Okay, and then you mix that. Now, the variation is available where I love this. It's so basic. It's a basic pound cake. You can add vanilla at the end. I dare say you can make a lemon pound cake by adding, I've not tried, but that sounds really awesome. Is adding maybe like, I would say, a 1/4 cup, no, not that much. Maybe start out with 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Add a tiny bit of a hint of lemon maybe. That sounds awesome to me. And then you'll find that this cake is so versatile, and you could make little mini buns. And then I'll show you at the end of the show the many ways you can serve. I'll probably show one way with fruit, with a pound cake. So my kids love California Pizza Kitchen, and we don't go that often, you know, we sit down restaurant, but when they do go for their birthday, they will always order butter cake, and it would be this light, it's a buttery cake, and they keep talking about it. I've never had it, I didn't have it until recently. They keep talking about it, and then so finally I had some, and I said, oh my gosh, this tastes just like a pound cake. I think because this is like a butter pound cake, right? But I noticed though, I think they put, when I look up the recipe online for the butter cake, I noticed they put some leavening agents. You know, they put like baking powder or something and baking soda. But this one doesn't call for any of that. And you guys, I can't wait for you to taste it. It's so awesome. So this is the last thing we're going to add. That's 3 cups of flour total, 10 eggs, 3 cups of sugar, a whole pound of butter. I wonder if that's why they call it a pound cake, because it takes a whole pound of butter. A heavy cake, so it's a heavy cake. This makes a huge cake. When I have a family gathering, I love to make this cake because I just make one big cake. So it's like 12 or 14 or more, and it's also great you could store it for several days and kids can just have it for breakfast or for a snack or whatever. I mean, look at that, 10 eggs and all that butter and sugar. Just think about the eggs. This is your breakfast, getting 2 eggs in 1 slice. So I guess there's a lot of protein in it. Okay, so I'm going to grab oh my gosh, okay. I'm going to grab a spatula over here, and I'm going to scrape the side a little bit here, and then we're going to put it in the pan. That's good enough. So I have my oven preheated already. Like I said, if your pan is dark, then you're going to do 25, like this is a dark coating. There's not a lot of pans like that, so stick with 325. So the reason why this is a little bit tricky, we want it to fill in all the crevices of the pan. So I'm going to just, it's not a big deal really, but I like to spread it out so that way we'll have a nice, even, pretty cake. Can you guys see that? I'm covering my face, but who cares? You know what I look like. Okay. All right, almost there. This does make a huge cake. It really fills up the whole pan. And it doesn't really rise a lot because there's no leavening agent. However, it does expand because the butter melts and then cooks. And so when it finishes cooking, it comes all the way to the top of the pan. It fills it all up. And I don't want to waste any of that yummy, wonderful ingredients. And it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. But then I do a quick little shake. Like that, so that it'll just settle in there. So that's it. I'm going to put it in the oven, and when we get back, we're going to present it to you. It's going to be so yummy and awesome. So come back. Hi, welcome back. I'm sorry, I didn't have a second bundt pan to like bake and take it and show it, you know what I mean? So, but it takes like an hour and a half to bake, so I had to do this ahead also. So once you come out, it's, you know, when you turn upside down, it's, the flat side's gonna be down here, and then you just have to let it cool. You have to let it cool for about at least 20 to 25 minutes or even longer, but not too long. So I would say no more than 30, and then you can start to take it up out of the pan. You just have to take a little thin knife and just edge it a little bit around the edges, and then you shake the pan, and then when you feel that the cake is kind of lifting, you take the cake pan or plate and you put it over the bundt and you flip it over, and then you have this. Now, it's not very often. I would say 50% of the time I get a smooth, perfect cake. So you notice it's not very smooth and perfect, but that's okay because you can like put a little bit of powdered sugar. I'm gonna put a little bit of powdered sugar in here and just cover up, to cover up the little blemishes here, like see that right there? And that's okay. So I'm going to sprinkle that, and then now you can even just serve it just like that with your cup of tea, or not. So, so that's the pound cake. So I'm going to show you different ways you can serve it. First, I'm going to cut this piece that's, well, I'm going to put on this plate. I'm just going to do a simple piece. You notice that this particular bundt pan has small and large chunks. So I'm just going to, like I would say that this is one serving. It's a very, very heavy cake and very, so I'm just going to say that's one serving. It looks small. I mean, what is small? What is your serving size anyway? We Americans always eat too much. So I'm going to just put one piece of, this is one way you could just serve it plain, and maybe put a couple of strawberries along the side, and move this over here so you can see. And I'm just gonna put one little strawberry with it, like that. And maybe we can put a little bit of powdered sugar there. So then you can have just a really beautiful, elegant serving dessert that you can serve. Or you can get a scoop of Haagen-Dazs ice cream and scoop it right there and put the strawberry on top. Okay, so I had an idea. I had a little parfait container. So I thought that I would also do these little parfaits. So I'm going to cut some more pieces like this. Now, a lot of times I use this, I make slice the strawberries and make like with a little syrup, add a little sugar, it makes its own syrup, like a strawberry shortcake, so you could do that also. I'm going to actually I'm going to go ahead and cut these into little chunks and put some in on the bottom. Oh wait, you know what? Let's put strawberries on the bottom. Maybe I should do the strawberries first. So we just want some strawberries on the bottom. Okay, maybe just a little bit like that. I wonder if we should put a little bit of whipped cream. No. Let's just put some here and some cake there. Put some more strawberries. And let's do some more strawberries. Oop. Put some strawberries there. That's good. And let's put some more cake on that. And let's put some more cake on this one. So you can almost use it as like those lady finger things that you do in England, and they make a really pretty truffle. Let's put the strawberries on top. And let's do another one for that one. Like that. And put a little whipped cream. I can get it open. Oh gosh, why did I bother to open this before the show? Something like that. A little peek there. All right. So you can have a little, well, that spoon is not very, there. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Hold a second, grab my mint leaf. I love my kids. Oh, I should have picked this. I'll find a cute mint leaf. I love my herb garden from my Mother's Day. They are so cute. I mean, they're so cute, and they did it such a good job. So we have that. How's that? So I'm going to make another idea. You can cut sticks of this. So you guys have got to make this. It's so easy. So you could also put mostly strawberries, right? So you guys need to go to Macy's and get all the ingredients and make it and eat it. So for this one, I cut them into sticks. And this is the one I'm going to taste, I think. Mostly fruit. And whipped cream, of course. All right, you guys, go make this. Look at how pretty a dessert you can make. And you guys, this is so good. So good. Buttery and soft. Perfect. Here's summer dessert. Or winter dessert. So next time, at Happy Thai Girl Instagram, I'll post links, and you can go and get the recipes